Hello and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Concrete Conversations, a podcast from the Tennessee Concrete Association. My name is Alan Sparkman, Director of the Tennessee Concrete Association, and today we are coming to you live from Spring Hill, Tennessee, on the site of the Ultium Cells 2 project, which is a large battery production facility that's being joint ventured by GM and LG, one of several such projects in the U.S., uses a lot of concrete. And I have the pleasure today of speaking with two gentlemen from the general contractor, Barton Malow, and I'm going to let each of them introduce themselves. So, John, why don't you go first?
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for having us. My name is Jonathan Dobray. I currently serve as a project engineer for Barton Malow. And I have the pleasure of working with some highly skilled concrete team for our self-perform division. Together, we navigate design changes, manage the budget, and with a shared goal in mind to just keep the project on site.
Great. And
all right. And I'm Nick Edson. I'm our project manager on site here for our self-perform group. So that includes civil, concrete, structural steel, and interiors group. So I'm just here to support our teams and our superintendents in the field with all those scopes, and looking forward to talking a little bit about concrete today.
So I guess let's do a couple of facts and figures about this project. How many cubic yards of concrete have you consumed to date?
So to date, we're just under 100,000. We're floating around 98,000. Initially projected about 120, but I think we're going to finish out by like 105,000 cubic yards, which, just an astronomical number.
That's a lot of truckloads of concrete. And so we walked through the project today. It's massive. How many square feet under roof?
So the project, it's 2.8 million. I round up to 3. But big project, second level.
So it's very large, lots of really good looking concrete floors, which is one of the reasons this project won an award in our 2023 Concrete Design Awards competition. And in fact, it won 2 awards, one for sustainability because of some things you did to lower the embodied carbon in the concrete mixes, which was pretty cool. And also one for finishing, and then it won the grand champion as the best project or the most interesting project in Tennessee for last year. So lots of congratulations for that. But a stellar concrete project and good example of all the things today that a modern construction project involves. Anything else statistics-wise about the project that you think would be interesting for people to know?
Yeah, I mean, just for the concrete scope at least, we're projecting to have 240,000 trade hours for forming, placing, and finishing concrete, which is that's pretty large amount in about a year and a half. Overall for the project, they're guessing over 3 million hours for all the different trades. So a lot of work. To date, I think we just passed our 2 million man hour.
Mm-hmm. We're just in the low 2 millions. I think we had our 2 million man hour luncheon or kind of like award ceremony type thing, just a recognition for the crew. I think that was about a month ago. So we're just over 2 million man hours, and we'll be approaching 3 million here by the end of the year, looking to finish the project early next year, the first quarter next year. And then just to get a little bit more magnitude on what 100,000 or 120,000 cubic yards looks like. So from Nashville to Detroit, we can build a 5-foot wide sidewalk with the amount of concrete on this job. So that magnitude kind of puts that into perspective a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of concrete, and it's kind of what I call technical concrete. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had some that was, footings and really important concrete. There was some pretty cool stuff on the mass concrete. You guys were monitoring temperature, which was really interesting, and that's very technical.
Yep.
But the floors themselves, while it's impressive how much there is, the level of quality is also really impressive and important in a manufacturing facility. We don't think about concrete floors, but if you don't have a good floor, the whole flow of the manufacturing is going to be disrupted. So really cool. Interesting again how many man hours you have, which kind of gets to the other thing I wanted us to talk about today, but it's opportunities in construction, especially concrete related construction for young people today. And I know that Barton Malow has your own program where you're trying to attract people to construction, to the trades. So tell me a little bit about that. What's it called, and just a little bit about what your program looks like.
So the program is called Boot Camp, and it's a paid 6-week apprenticeship program with on-the-job training and in-class workshops. So this is more targeted towards the youth ages 18 to 24, with a heightened focus on women and minorities. And so these young adults will go through this program. They'll be placed on several projects that Barton Malow has throughout the state, throughout the nation, and they'll get an opportunity to actually work on site, work in the field with their hands, with the individuals that they're going to meet in their future. So they get real life experience doing it, and it's a paid opportunity. It's a safe space to explore, grow, and I think and they've had some success. It was started in 2016. It won several awards in 2018 and 2020, and the team with Barton Malow has really been great for pushing this through and evolving the program to where it's at now. So yeah, it's just exciting what they're doing. And
so this is targeted toward high school seniors or maybe a little bit older, which is great. It's a paid opportunity. I'm imagining that they're also kind of paired with what we might call a mentor to get that in the field experience.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just again, just that safe environment to allow them to ask the questions and actually experiment and try it.
Yeah, really, really important, because so many people today don't have the opportunity to be exposed to construction at all. And I would say they don't know what they're missing. Mm-hmm. That ability, that opportunity to create something, to have a part. I have to imagine when you guys walk around this site, as massive as it is, there's always a little bit of pride that you had a part to play in it. It's really neat to expose young people to that same opportunity.
Yep. I'll add to that. So I've been on a few, call it these major jobs where they're almost $1 billion in my career. And it's always, I think it's a little bit more motivation for these young people than even the older generation too, have worked in the field for 20, 30 years. They can go by and just not come to work and earn a paycheck, but go back and tell the communities, tell their families, like, hey, I was part of this job, and like this job, this is like the future of, electric vehicles and that type of stuff. So it's more than just kind of like a job and going to work, coming home. It's part of like where the world is going right now. So that can be a special thing.
We were talking a little bit, I think people have a misconception in some cases about what a construction job is like. And certainly it depends on the type of construction you're doing. For concrete construction, you bring something out of the ground, you're working, you're in the dirt and you're bringing concrete out. But it's a lot different today, I think, than it was a generation ago when I started. So Nick, maybe tell us a couple things that you've seen that are changing, that have changed, particularly the use of technology in construction.
Yeah, so I graduated college, 12 years ago now. So obviously we had computers and email, and that was a big thing when I started. Working with a few of these older folks, I would say, they didn't use the computers. They had like us younger project engineers doing all the computer stuff for them. Hey, I'm the brains, you're the computer guy, so you need help me out here. But now we're pretty much forced. I think the industry is forced into using this technology, and it's like you better get on the bus with a certain technology now, because in order to do business, and I heard this at Con Expo in Vegas, if you don't adapt to this technology, you're probably not going to be in the business anymore in 10, 15 years. So I think it's important to get everybody on board and start implementing this stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's well underway, and it's changing the way construction projects are managed. John and I were talking about all the literally hundreds of tasks and details you have to manage on a project of this magnitude, really on even smaller projects, and trying to keep all that in your head is next to impossible. So one of the big advantages of technology is the ability to do that tracking so that we can be better managers. And that's a big part of construction today. As we were walking through the building, you could see lots of technology at play with all the different trades. So I think for people considering a career, it is a career where you build with your hands, but you also do have to be increasingly literate with technology. And if you are, I think that's a big advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Along with scheduling, work planning, just taking photos in the field, and it's coming back. It's coming back, getting downloaded in our computers. It all ties together with our schedule planning. And I guess it just makes it easier to see things and easier to build them when you can see it from a technological standpoint in the field and then back onto your computer screen.
Yeah, I mean, we have a pretty big department, virtual design construction, that takes these 3D models or 2D plans, converts them to a 3D model. It imports multidisciplinary trades within it. It runs clash detection. There's drone technology that we use daily, weekly, that will fly around the site, take pictures. The pictures themselves have more data than just a still image. It can actually calculate volume of soil piles and square foot area, and even scan for tolerance. So I think it can be hands-on, but yeah, having a little bit of, especially us growing up with the technology already, it's almost like second nature to adopt it, and being able to adopt it into what you do and how you do it, well, I think would make you more efficient, because it does things that you're not really. Yeah.
Well, it gives you a view of the project that's very difficult to get without the technology and without the measurement.
Yeah.
So like the drones, which it's just, I think it's really cool. But when you're flying a drone through the project to measure construction tolerances, that's cool in and of itself.
Oh yeah.
And then you feed that back into your model, to update your plans. I mean, you're creating essentially a virtual as-built of the building, which again, to me is cool, but also incredibly useful as you manage the project, and then really useful for the owner as they operate the project, 10 years from now. That digital model that comes out of a modern construction is a huge advancement in managing as well as owning and operating.
Yeah, and it's only getting better, easier, with more people adopting it, more people having opinions of what to change, how to change it, how to make it user friendly. It's only going to get better. So I think it's going to be part of the construction world, a big part. So I think involving youth into construction now might be that link to keep it strong.
Yeah, I agree. We have so many opportunities across the spectrum in the construction world. And the things we've just been talking about, the kind of the cool factor of technology, the things it lets us do much better, and maybe in some cases things we almost couldn't do before, those are all really important. But to get the real value out of that, I still think that an individual needs to have some field experience. just looking at the plans and all the digital models, that's kind of cool. But if you've never built something, I don't think you get the full value out of those tools. What do you guys think about that?
I totally agree with that. I know in order to do my job, which is more on the office side, the contractual side, like managing our people, actually doing the work, you need that field experience. If you don't know how to build it, or at least like what goes into building it or seeing it in the field, I really can't do my job to help manage the project from a schedule standpoint, a contractual standpoint, and just managing a people standpoint. So I think that field experience, or at least getting exposure to the field and how everything's built, really helps out.
Yeah, and you guys are doing that on the front end with with these paid apprenticeships, which is really good. I think the other cool thing about construction that is not true for all opportunities, but you can start straight out of high school. You might get an opportunity to work on a massive project like this, but you can go into a good paying job in the field to get that experience. Doesn't mean you have to stay there for the rest of your career. There are career paths in the concrete and construction industry that certainly involve college, and you can pursue those. And there's lots of technical training that you need to advance that doesn't necessarily include college. So I think when you start your career, there's lots of career paths in front of you.
I'm going to tag on to that because I know we have at least, I can think of 5 or 6 people in our company who are a director level or vice president who started actually in the trades as a carpenter or a laborer, and they worked themselves up into like a project superintendent and then a project manager position. And then, eventually now they're senior directors, and our COO of our company is actually a former laborer. So lots of career paths I agree with.
Yeah, and that's the message we've got to get better at getting out there. So I appreciate your all's input today. I appreciate the project tour. Look forward to working with you on the boot camp program and however we can help to get more education about concrete out there. And I very much appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it as well. Thanks.